So if you could always talk to me, try not to look into the camera. So if you could just introduce yourself to me, so if you could say your name, position and your club.
My name's Dave Attwood, I play for Bath Rugby and I'm a lock.
Awesome. How did you come around to playing lock? Is it something you did from a young age?
I started out as a lock basically because I was bigger than other people. Usually as a child, they say that rugby is a game for all shapes and sizes. There's positions kind of suited depending on your kind of physical stature. And I think as you get older, people change position, but I always stayed the big kid. So although I started out as a second row, I stayed there.
Brilliant. Which side do you play, 4 or 5? And more critically, is there a difference?
Usually you tend to find that the tight headlock, so on the right hand side of the scrum, would be a heavier lock of the two, and the left hand lock, the loose headlock, would be a lighter lock. Now that's the way it is because of the disparity in the front row. When there's more pressure coming on the tight head side, you want a bit more ballast.
You're the heavier one, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So what is your job then as a lock during the set pieces?
So primarily in set piece terms, scrumming is about power output and generating momentum. You're kind of supporting your tight head and hooker in trying to get them moving forward, allowing you an easier, freer strike of the ball and putting pressure on the opposition. And when it comes to line out, it's about being powerful and explosive, finding space and delivering quality set piece ball to your halfbacks.
Brilliant. Opposite that then, so what is your job during open play?
Open play, generally second rows tend to do a lot of hitting rucks and tackling and general unfancy ball carrying. So by that I mean that you don't get in open spaces, not in wide channels. You're generally carrying into traffic where there are other big blokes trying to bash holes at you.
Okay. What are the main attributes you say a player needs to play lock and effectively? So you need this, and this. What would you say they are?
You need to have good game understanding if you're going to be effective at playing second row. You need to be efficient with your movements on the field. You need to make good decisions where you can benefit play and where you're not going to impact play at all. But historically, second rows have been kind of enforcers. They're the people who kind of get the nasty jobs done. I think more so in modern games, the second row is more of an enforcer in terms of kind of dynamic play on the field. Generally, they're still taller than other people, so it's about using those attributes with good carrying skills, offloads, big offensive tackles.
Okay, brilliant. So how does your training regime build around it? And is it?
We do a lot of heavy squats and a lot of power cleans, trying to kind of look at benefits that translate to scrummaging and also to jumping in the line out, and the same again, tackling and carrying.
Okay, opposite that, what is your diet like? Is there anything you've told you just completely can't have?
Generally all rugby players follow a similar diet. There'll be specifics that will be more geared towards whether you need to put weight on or lose weight, but they're much more individual than they are position specific.
Okay. How many calories would you say you eat a day then, and sort of how many portions would that break down into?
In a normal training week, we'd probably look at around 3,000 to 3,500 calories a day. You're probably looking to get that through 5 meals. In pre-season, you're going to be closer to 5,000 or 6,000 calories. And more like six or 7 meals.
Do you have any exercises that help prevent injuries, especially around the main areas where players tend to get injured?
We do a lot of proprioceptive work, so balancing, stabilising light weights, high reps, putting your joints in uncomfortable positions to strengthen all the ligaments and kind of fine motor neurons around those joints.
Let's go to the scrums. Do you like the new scrum laws? Do you prefer them to the old style? Actually, more importantly, do you think they're actually working?
I think that there was a bit of uncertainty about why they brought in new scrum laws. There wasn't a clear feeling in the game that scrum laws weren't working. There was a clear feeling that scrums weren't being refereed very well, and I think a lot of people would argue that that's still the case. I think that it's better in that it makes it a bit simpler, and certainly I think further down the leagues you've seen a much greater transition in terms of clean ball. There are more phases played, there are less reset scrums.
Okay, that last couple of questions. How do you mentally prepare yourself for a match? So let's say you're sat in the changing room just before you go out.
I spend time thinking about small jobs that I have to do on the field. If you try and think of the big picture, you're not being effective. You need to think about little things that you can do, little situations, visualising situations where you're going to make a tackle or hit a ruck, or how you're actually going to do that physically, mechanically. What are you doing?
Okay, then, last question. Who do you think is the best lock in the world, and why? What do you think makes them so brilliant at what they do?
I think probably, I would argue that the front runner at the minute is someone like Bakis Botha or Ebenezer. They are extremely dynamic, carry themselves well around the field, and you generally don't see those guys making many mistakes.
Thanks so much, Dave.